Hasan Mahmud is a Bangladesh affairs analyst and professor of sociology at Northwestern University in Qatar, and he joins me live now from Doha. Thank you so much for being with us on the program. First, let me get your thoughts on the latest developments, Hasina stepping down and fleeing to India.
Thank you for having me. This is actually a very historic moment in my life and life of all Bangladeshis in Bangladesh and around the world, because we have been suffering from the one of the most ruthless and cruel dictatorial regime under Sheikh Hasina for last 15 years. We were not even able to breathe freely, we felt. So through this channel, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then those martyrs and also the protesters who organized the entire event and ousted Sheikh Hasina from her power. And I have listened to the speech that our the army chief of Bangladesh just delivered a couple of minutes ago, where he clearly said that army is going to help form an interim government who will take care of the business as usual until a free and fair election is conducted and a democratically elected government is installed in power. So I
Right.
am really hopeful, and I believe that Army Chief has said whatever he said frankly, and will uphold what he just said.
Okay, so let's talk about that process a bit. So the military is saying that they're going to find a solution to the political crisis by Monday night. What would that solution look like, and what would the election process look like moving forward?
In Bangladesh, we had interim government we call caretaker government introduced in 1990, again after a mass mobilization against army-backed dictatorial rule at that time, and that was part of constitution. And under that interim government or caretaker government, there were three free and fair election, and which had been recognized as the most acceptable kind of democratic transition of power. But then this past regime, Sheikh Hasina regime, came to power and changed the constitution and dropped that process. And that's where, that's one of the key moment when Bangladesh started to slide into dictatorial role. And so I believe that I guess that the army and civil society, political parties, they are coming together, discussing an interim government, something that would take those kinds of form where the government might come into power for say 90 days, and within 19 days they would 90 days, and within 90 days they would prepare and conduct a free and fair election. And I believe Bangladeshis are really eager to have that kind of election where they would vote for their party of their choice and take the country back to a democratic route.
Take us back to the beginning of the latest round of protests that we saw, when the protests first started on the government jobs quota system. Talk to us about that system and the impact that it's had on the general public, hence leading to those deadly protests.
That's a very good question. Although this protest is known as a protest against quota system, and within that quota system, 56% of the first class and second class jobs by the government would be reserved for varieties of varieties of categories, but the biggest category was the freedom fighters category, where freedom fighters are gone. Their children's generation is also gone. Now, the current government extended this quota to grandchildren of freedom fighters. That's one thing. That grandchildren are not actually supposed to, supposed to get that kind of like preferential treatment. On the other hand, this quota system, the way it was managed was extremely corrupt, and one had to be a diehard Awami League supporter or Sheikh Hasina supporter in order for them to be included in the system. So basically, although it is called quota system, it is actually a particular kind of quota system which is unjust, which is unfair, which is absolutely corrupt. And with growing economic crisis after pandemic and like um, price hike, inflation, all these economic pressures, our young generations were suffering from acute level of unemployment. They were not finding the jobs they wanted for. Their dream of life was shattered, and on the top of that, those who sided with this regime were like making money like anything. Even the prime minister was telling people that her personal uh, it's not secretary, like server in her house was I mean, he managed to earn like in um, in Bangladeshi taka like
Right.
40 millions.
Right.
So
So let's
all these.
go. I just want to talk a bit about the state of Hasina right now. We do understand that she's landed in India. What do you make of her going there? Is India going to keep her in the country? What does her political future look like?
um, Her political future, I am not in a position to uh, predict what will happen to her. But as a Bangladeshi, I wholeheartedly want, desire, and contemplate that her political future, as well as her entire party's political future, should be doomed, because this is not a political party. Under her leadership, Awami League has become a party of goons. It operated like underworld, but unfortunately they had captured state power. So they turned the entire Bangladesh into almost like an underworld uh, empire. I want that to crash.
All right, Hasan Mahmud, thank you so much for being with us here on TRT World and sharing that analysis with us. I appreciate it.